back, brothers and sisters of Christ. My name is Brianna and I'm back with another video. And for today's video, it is to keep certain things to yourself. And when I say certain things, one of the most important things I've realized on my journey is my intimate experiences that I have had with the Lord to keep to myself. There has been times that I just literally had like supernatural things happen to me, and I will tell people these things, and for one, they'll probably not believe you. They'll try to accuse you of lying or being delusional, whatever the case may be, because people simply don't understand. We all don't have the same relationship with the Lord, so we all do not experience the same thing. So some of the things that people experience could be like so like far-fetched to people that they think it is a lie, and it's not. Like, the Lord is so, like, the things that he do, the things that he show people, certain people at least, are just like literally supernatural. And I've noticed in my journey that I will have to keep these things to myself because it also can spark up jealousy. And the reason being is because some people, like I said, we all have different relationships with the Lord. So if you tell someone that you experience a certain thing with the Lord, a certain intimacy, like, okay, like for my dreamers, a lot of people are not dreamers. So we can dream about things that literally comes to reality just as the way we see them in a dream. And before they come to reality, we believe it because we already know the relationship that we have with the Lord, and we're used to having dreams that come to reality. So for an example, I had told someone a particular dream that I had, and it hadn't come into fruition yet, but I knew that it was going to. Like, I felt it. Like, I know when he shows us things too, he gives us that feeling. We know it's from God, you know. And this person talked doubt into my dream. Like, well, how do you know it's that? Or it could be this, you know what I mean? That, and it's happened multiple times, but I knew what God showed me. But because that person said that, the enemy uses other people, knowingly or unknowingly, to get in our head so we cannot believe the things that God has already showed us and told us. And I already knew it, but then that sparked doubt, and I'm like, well, maybe you're right. Why would they be right? And this is not, you know, that the Lord has showed you that this is not the first time. You know, we know our relationship with the Lord. So he doesn't want us sharing certain experiences with people because they will speak doubt into you. It will spark up jealousy because they're looking like, who do you think you're so special? Or why is the Lord showing you this and not me? Or, you know, who do you think you are? Like, even though it's something you can't control, people will get upset. Like, who do you think you are, to the fact that you think the point that the Lord is showing you something so great, you know, like, who are you, basically? Like, people don't take it well. They don't take it as a good thing and a positive thing. So yeah, there will be times that the Lord will show me things, and it's so hard because it's like something so supernatural you literally cannot believe it happened to you. Or he'll show you like a business idea and you're super excited to tell people and to show people, and he doesn't want that. He wants us to keep that between him. Like, some things he wants just for us, me and him, to know. You and him to know. You know, no matter how happy we are, like, some things we just cannot share with others. And that's why it's important to ask God for discernment, because sometimes we simply do not know. And when we have discernment, we will know, like, when the Lord is telling us, like, tell this person. Because sometimes he may tell you to tell people certain things because it could be beneficial to them and their relationship with the Lord. You know, it could strengthen their faith. So you'll know, like, if you think of like telling somebody something that happened to you, or a business idea that the Lord put on your heart, and you just get this strong urge, like, do not say it, don't say it, don't say it. You know that's the Lord. Sometimes we have an urge to tell somebody, but it's something deep down inside that's saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Anytime you get a don't do it feeling, like, I just go with the don't do it. Like, because it's like, unless it's something good, like, I don't know, like, you should give this person $20. Like, why would you have a don't feeling about that? You know what I mean? So, but when I have ignored, there's times where I've ignored this feeling. Like, the Lord was telling me not to say something, and when I ignored this feeling, I quickly found out why I was getting that feeling and why he did not want me to say certain things to certain people or to people in general at all. So let me see here. So like, even what I'm doing now, YouTube, the Lord has been putting this on my heart for months. I didn't want to do it because I'm shy. I felt like I wasn't knowledgeable enough. It's just, you know, a lot of doubt was coming into my head, but I know that the Lord was telling me to do this. I mean, like, I literally, that's another video for another story about purpose and when the Lord is telling, because I mean, it was just videos constantly coming up on my TL. He was just giving me ideas back to back, like in notes, and having me write stuff down. Like, I knew this is what he wanted me to do, and I was just scared, you know, I wasn't moving on it. But anywho, I didn't tell nobody about this. The only person that I end up telling is my fiance, and I wasn't even going to tell him but you know, eventually I felt that the Lord was like allowing me to tell him, because I don't know if I told him when I already started or whatever the case may be, but he was the only person that I told. To this day, he's the only person that I told. There has been like a few, like 2 family members that found me that I know of, but yeah, some of the closest people to me do not even know that I do YouTube, because I didn't need anybody. I knew that that's what the Lord wanted me to do, and I didn't need any validation from nobody, because I know that the Lord told me to do this, and I didn't need no one to speak any doubt into the plans that I know that the Lord told me to do, because I was already doubting myself. So I didn't need to add to that doubt. And you don't need confirmation from nobody else but the Lord. If you already know that this is what the Lord told you to do, you know, the only time you could, you know, at this point, I mean, I could tell people because I'm doing it, but I just choose not to. I actually still feel like the Lord, I know that the Lord is telling me still not to tell people. So I got the message loud and clear. He was pulling videos on my video, and then it's so crazy because recently I just thought about telling people, like family members, about my YouTube, and multiple videos came up and were saying, do not tell family and friends about YouTube. And I'm like, okay, God, I got you. Like, he like, I already told you before, now you're thinking about doing it. No, don't do it. So yeah, I'm not doing it. But you know, sometimes he will even like nudge us not to tell our mate. Like I said, when this idea first came about, I'm like, I didn't tell my fiance right away. And then eventually the Lord gave me the okay to tell him, and he's been very supportive. But yeah, like sometimes he'll even tell us not to tell our mate, like literally just between you and God. Like some things, like there are certain things that I have kept just between me and the Lord. But yeah, so because he can't have us be doubting, y'all. Because if somebody speaks doubt into a plan that he gave us, it can cause a delay. And we can't have no delays going on. Because the thing about it is, when God speaks something into our lives, a plan into our life, a business idea into our life, we have to remember we're all here to help each other. So when he needs us to do something, we need to be doing it promptly, because what we're doing is going to help another child of God. And we cannot afford to delay the process, because there's people out here that need our services, that need our help, that need to hear a message, you know what I mean, that needs a product that you have. And that's something that I learned along the way. So that's why it's so important, because you tell certain people, they can speak doubt into your dreams. Well, not even your dreams, but what God has showed you, and it causes delay. And not only is it causing delay for you and your purpose, it's causing delay for somebody else and their purpose and what they need to hear. So yeah. That's pretty much it. But I have a few examples here. Now, one of them, Jacob had wrestled. So Genesis chapter 32, verses 22 to 32, which I'm not going to be reading. But anywho, Jacob wrestled with an angel. He said that he's seen God face to face. So I still get confused on if he was wrestling with God or an angel. People say it was an angel, but he said he's seen God face to face. So I don't know. Anywho, he wrestled with an angel or God, whoever, in Genesis. And I noticed that Jacob never told anybody about this. Like, that is something so supernatural. Like, if that happened to me, I'm rushing to tell somebody, like, what is this? Like, this just happened to me. I noticed that Jacob had never mentioned or told anyone about that. At least it wasn't mentioned in the Bible. And I applied that to my own life. Like, he had an intimate experience with the Lord or one of his angels, a divine being, and he did not tell anybody about that. He just went on about his way. He didn't need to tell anybody about that, because at the end of the day, he knew what he dealt with. He knew what he saw. He knew what he did. And him telling somebody was not going to change that or give him any type of validation. And that's something that I'm learning right now. Like, even with, like telling people things, it's not going to change what God told you or what God showed you. It's not going to change how you feel. You know what you saw. You know how you feel. You know what God showed you. So it's like, what are you even getting out of telling people things? That's something that I have been learning as of current, even with gossiping. We think we're just venting, but we're really gossiping. But it's like, when you really sit down and think about it, what am I getting? Like, when you tell people these things to vent, it changes nothing. So it's really just pointless. Joseph, oh my goodness, Joseph the Dreamer is like my favorite. I cry like a baby when Joseph died, y'all. But Joseph had a dream that his family was going to be bowing down to him, his brothers and stuff. And God placed that dream. God gave that dream to Joseph. Later in Genesis, they were so mad about the dream, though, y'all. Like, who do you think you are? We're going to be bowing down to you. Like, they was mad about a dream that Joseph had, y'all. How are you mad about him because he had a dream that y'all was bowing down to him? Like, he can't control his dreams. God gave him that dream. Well, sure enough, later in Genesis, they were bowing down to him because Joseph had became king. Like, so, but because he told them this dream, it sparked jealousy. His brothers were jealous of him. And you just got to get into the whole Genesis. It's the story. I love the story, like, but it was just like so sad. I cried. But yeah, so his brothers were jealous of him. It sparked jealousy. So that further explains what I'm talking about as well. That was an intimate experience, like something that God showed him that he probably should have kept to himself. But it was so like, what is going on? We're curious too sometimes. Like, what do you think this means? And people take it the wrong way. So we do have to be mindful of that. Nehemiah chapter 2 verses 12. It says, I set out during the night with a few others. I had not told anyone what my God had put in my heart to do for Jerusalem, which was rebuilding Jerusalem, the walls and the temples. He didn't tell anyone. God put it in his heart and he didn't tell anyone. He just got to it and did it. And that's what we should start doing and learning to do, because so we can just avoid any humps and lumps within our journey. Like, that's what I'm learning at this point. Like, we put unnecessary things in our path when we feel like we need to share any and everything with anybody. It's just like, with your relationships. A lot of us in relationships, we stop telling people what's going on in our relationships, our marriages, because people are going to speak things into your head and have you thinking of things in a whole different way. And it just speaks doubt. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you and your partner can work out your issues together, everybody always say that, just keep people out your business. That's the number one thing. Keep people out your business when it comes to your relationship. And it's so true. So it's like, keep people out your business when it comes to your relationship with the Lord in some cases, unless he tells you to speak, because you don't need any outside noise when there's things that need to be done. Okay, I already mentioned that. Okay, so then we have Matthew chapter 9 verse 29 to 30. So Jesus had healed a blind man, and he said, then he touched their eyes, blind men. Then he touched their eyes and said, according to your faith, let it be done to you. And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly, see that no one knows about this. Then we have Mark chapter 1 verse 43 to 44. Jesus sent him away at once. Jesus sent him away. I can't even read my own handwriting. I'll be writing this down. So I'm sorry. Jesus sent him away at once with a strong warning. See that you don't tell this to anyone. So although these passages were really talking, these passages was like he was telling them this because he didn't want people to just focus on the healings and miracles that he, were doing for people. He wanted them to focus on the message and the morals of living. But I used it And I think so they wouldn't lock him up in jail or something, if I'm not mistaken. But I used it in my own life as not sharing intimate moments that I have with him, because it's nobody's business at the end of the day. You know what you know. If you know, you know, you know. God knows, and that's the only thing that matters. God knows and you know. So it ain't nobody else's business. To be honest. So yeah, just pray God, ask for discernment. If he wants you to speak on something, he will nudge you to speak. If he doesn't, he's going to nudge you and say, don't say nothing. And just remember, like, sometimes this can cause delay in your journey, and your purpose in life, and it can cause delay in other people's lives that we're here to help. But that is all that I have for today. If this message is not for you, it's for somebody else. Remember, I'm telling y'all this because I love y'all. God bless.